to another video. This time I want to talk with you about another cool feature in Photoshop, and this is a little bit magical. So let's start. I want to talk with you about this content aware scale, which is now gray here because we don't have open document. And with this content aware scale, we can stretch a photo to fit into a new document, for example. I think the best to show you what I mean is we want to create a Facebook header. A Facebook header, let's make a new document, has the size of 851 and height 315. And we create this new document. And now let's say you have a photo and you want to have this as your Facebook header. I prepared a lot of photos so that we don't waste with searching. Let's say we have this photo and you want to have this on your header. Now we can drag it on top of our header, and now let's zoom out a little bit that we can see. You can see the photo is really big. Here are the photo. Let's zoom out again. So let's start to resize this photo. Press Shift and Alt, and now we can resize our photo and try to fit this into our header. Now we'll zoom. What happens is we can't fit our photo into this header. Here you can see this space is cut off, or if you move it like this, then this area is cut off. So we can't find a perfect size to fit the photo into our header. So this is no solution. But again, let's open this, and now the magic starts. So first we will resize our image. Go to image size, and we will type in the height from the Facebook header is 315. The Facebook header is only my example in this tutorial. Of course, you can use any document size what you want. So 315 is the height of the header. I clicked cancel and not OK. Okay, now I drag my photo on top of my document here, and let's place it here or here, wherever you want. And now we go to, if we stretch it now, you will distort the object here. And I always say never resize a photo unproportional. Always click Shift or Shift and Alt and grab one of these squares here and enlarge it or minimize it, but never do it unproportional. But now we do this. Go to Edit and go to Content Aware Scale. Now grab one of these squares here, left or right, and you can now stretch the photo also on this side, and you can see the object, the father with his child, will not be touched, and only the background will be stretched. Okay, do it slowly because you need to have an eye on the object, because on some photos at some points the object will start to stretch too, and I will show you what we do if this happens. So in this case the object is not touched and only the background is stretched. And now you fitted the photo into a Facebook header. Isn't this magical? So I delete this and I will show you this technique on another photo. For example, this one. This is the original size. Again, we go to image size, and the height is 350. Okay, and drag it on top of your photo. Again, we go to edit, content aware, and we start to stretch this. And have an eye on the objects, and if you press the Alt key, it stretches on both sides. And I think this is also fine. Okay, you can see now the photo fits perfect into the Facebook header. So if you have a photo with a seamless background, this is the best and the easiest way to stretch a photo with content aware scale. And now let's try this photo. It has a very blurred background, and Photoshop, if you stretch a photo, adds pixel to the background. This means, of course, the more you stretch a photo, the more the background will be blurred. So in this case we have already a blurred background, and I think it doesn't matter if it's more blurred than it is now. Again, go to image, and first we will make the height 315, and we drag it on top of our Facebook header. And then we go to edit, content aware scale, and again let's stretch it and have an eye on the bird, on our object, because it can be a point where the object will be stretched to. But in this case, again, we can do it very easily. So now you can see the background is a little bit more blurred, but it was also blurred in the original, so it doesn't matter. And you have perfect fit-in of your photo. So these were the examples where it was very easy to stretch the photo. This is a photo by me, nothing special, and a simple photo from a mobile phone, and I think these are the photos most of us will have, because I think most of us are not professional photographers. So, and we can also achieve a good result. So first, if I drag the original size on top of my header, and I will try to fit this into the header, I will always lose a detail. So if I want to have a little bit of the sky, I cut off the waterfall here and I will lose the trees, or I have the trees and I cut off the sky. So no way to fit this photo into a header. Open the photo, and first we will image size, make the height 315, so this is the perfect height for our header. And now we go to edit and content aware scale, and let's start to stretch. And now if this happens, try to stretch on this point. Okay, here. If this happens, we need to protect our object, and we can do this if we select our object. In this case, I will select my waterfall with the quick selection tool. You can also use the lasso tool, which I will use later and show you. And now select the object you want to protect from the stretching. It don't have to be a super exact selection. So now, if your object is selected, go to Channels and apply a mask. And now you can see you created an alpha 1 channel. Go back to your layers, Ctrl or Command D to deselect the selection, go to Edit, Content Aware Scale, and now you need to take care here at the Protect and choose Alpha. This means we protect our alpha channel now. And now you can go on and stretch, and you can see the waterfall is not affected, but stay to keep an eye on the waterfall, because it can be a second point in your stretching where the waterfall will be affected again. In this case, it's fine. Okay, and now you have stretched your photo. What happens now is, of course, the background is a little bit blur. So we go to our photo here and we go back to the original size. I have always opened my history, so in the history you can go back step by step, and here's my original size. Now I grab my lasso tool and I select a part of this photo, a part of my photo, and I drag it on top of my Facebook header. I will resize it, Shift and Alt, and then I cheat a little bit. So try to find that it fits good with the pattern from this mountain here, and I'm pretty sure when nobody knows it, you will not see it after. And we apply a mask, make sure your foreground color is black, and we choose a soft brush, opacity around 15 or less, the flow 14 or less, and now we paint over the edges. I go reduce the opacity a little bit. Here the tree. So you can see the edges where we insert this part. Here a little bit more. Okay. And I show you the before and the after, and as I said, I'm pretty sure if nobody knows we did this, you will not recognize there is a little bit of cheating here. And now you have fitted your photo into a Facebook header. You have the whole waterfall, you have the sky, you have the trees, and it's perfect. So I will delete this, and let's have a look at another photo. This one, for example. I want to, or let's say the main focus should be on the boat here, and the rest is not that important. And first we go to image size, and we reduce the height 315 and drag it on our Facebook header, and go to Edit, Content Aware, and we start to stretch, and you can see my boat will not be affected, but the house here. And I stretch it to the point where it's just okay, because nobody will know how big this house was. And I can live with this stretching in the back, as long as it is not too unrealistic. And I think in this case we can stretch it without any selection. Okay, but what we will do now, because I don't need the focus on these houses in the back, and also, you know, we stretch this a little bit too much, and we will take the focus away from this background houses and on our boat, and we can do this with a blur. And for this we grab our lasso tool, and I will select the ocean and my boat. Okay, it's not the perfect selection, so but I want to show you, and I think you get an idea. What I did now is I selected this area here with the boat, but I want to have the blur on my background, and for this I need to inverse my selection. Control or Command Shift and I, and now I have selected the background, and I go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and now I will blur my background. Control or Command D to deselect, and I think I have a nice header now, only with the focus on this boat, and the rest is blurry. So this is another way how you can cheat a little bit with the background if if you have not the perfect background and it's a little bit too much stretched, then blur it out and take the focus on the main object. Okay, again another photo. This one, for example. Again, I go to image first and I fit the height 315 and drag it on my header here. Again, go to edit and content aware, and now let's stretch this. And the legs here are stretched too, so I will protect this, and this time with my quick selection tool, and I select the legs of this camel. If you selected too much, press the Alt key and you subtract a selection, and also this baby camel here. Alt if you selected too much, and that's okay now. Okay, now we go to channel. This is the old alpha. I will delete this and press the mask icon. You created your alpha. Then we go back to our layers, Control or Command D to deselect, go to the content aware scale and protect alpha 1, and now stretch it. Okay, and okay, and now you have the same result like in the waterfall photo. You have this area here which is a little bit blurry, and I think everyone will see that there is something wrong here. So we grab our photo and grab your lasso tool and make a selection of this area, and we start to cheat again a little bit. Okay, and now I try to make a line with this line here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and I need, I think, 2 more of this. Controller Command J twice, and one here and the other one here. And try to make the line here from this. Okay, and now we apply on our first one, this is this one here, a mask, and let's paint a little bit over the edges, but I think we don't need much. Okay, the same here, apply a mask, let's say this is the middle one, yes, and again here a little bit. Okay, and the last one, apply a mask, and also, but I think it's pretty fine, the edges here. I will put these 3 layers in a group only to show you the before and after. So now this is our result, and this was it before. And again, if nobody knows we did this, I think nobody will recognize we cheated a little bit. And again, you have the perfect header with all of the images fitted into the Facebook header. Okay, and now let's start and talk about the point which is interested for us, Digi Scrapper. If we have a layout, let's start with this layout here, and again it will be some layouts which will not work and you can't stretch it, and you need to accept this because also the magic of Photoshop has its limits. So let's say you created a layout and you want to have this as your Facebook header. Of course, we don't need to try it. A square can't fit into a rectangle. So first we go to image, and again we edit the height to 315, and of course it's a square and the width is also 315, and drag it on top of our photo, and I place it at the left side. And now we go to edit, content aware, and we start to stretch it. Have an eye on your main focus, the photo, and of course the word art. We don't want to stretch this, and at the point where, and now it starts to stretch. If you see the heart, it starts to stretch. So click OK, and now I will grab my lasso and I will make a rough selection around those parts which I don't want to stretch. We go to our channels, this is the old alpha, and we apply a mask, and we created our alpha channel. Go back to layers, Controller Command D to deselect it, go to edit and content aware, and now we need to protect our alpha. And we start, and you can see our selection is not affected until to the end. And now you are done. You fitted your layout into a Facebook header. And let's try another layout. For example, this one. It has a little bit of pattern in the background. Again, first we change our image size, 315. And then, so now drag this to our canvas here on the document, and go to edit, content aware, and start to stretch. We can stretch it from both sides. You can press the Alt key so it stretch from both sides. And now here's the point where the object is affected. Grab your lasso tool here, and now we make a selection around the object you don't want to stretch. Go to channel and apply a mask. You have now your alpha channel. Go back to the layers, Control Command D, go to edit, content aware, and now protect alpha. You can press your Alt key again or only stretch it from one side, and now let's stretch. Now it's affected or again our object. We need again our lasso and make a selection and go to channel, apply a mask. Now we have two alphas. Go back to layer, Control Command D, edit, go to content aware, and now we protect alpha 2, and let's stretch it. I think we can stretch it to the end. Yes, and okay. And now we have our layout in our Facebook header, and we can edit the background a little bit. Grab your lasso again and make the selection of the part you don't want to affect, and Control Command Shift I to inverse it, and we go to filter and filter gallery, and let's have a look if we find a nice, so I think the dry brush filter looks nice, or let's have a look here. No, we have no. I think this ocean ripple or the dry brush filter looks fine in this case. Control Command D to deselect, and I think you have a nice Facebook header. And another effect which you can apply on a background, I will show it at the same here. Again, we make a selection of this part we don't want to edit anything. And now if you inverse it, Control Shift I, and now make a new layer with Control Command and J, and now you have a new layer with this background selected, and you can, for example, apply a style. So I will use any style at the moment. You need to find a good style. I don't know, let's use this. And you can go to the pattern layer style windows. You can change the blend mode. Let's make it multiply. You can reduce the opacity. You can scale the pattern. And at the end you can rasterize this layer. Right click and go to rasterize, and again change the blend mode to whatever you like. So this is another way how you can edit the background after you fitted it into this Facebook header size, and choose any style you like, and nobody will know you that the background was blurred at the beginning. So this was the video all about this content aware scale. With this feature you can stretch your photos unproportional, and always take care, there's always a limit. Not all photos can be stretched until the end. Sometimes you need to protect the main object, make a selection of the object and create an alpha channel, and then if you go to your content aware scale you can protect this alpha and stretch it again, but keep in mind there can be also a second point in your stretching where the object will be affected, Then again make a selection, create a second alpha and go to alpha 2, and perhaps there is a third or fourth alpha, and not all photo will work. There is also a limit. The best photos are those with a seamless background, but we can cheat a little bit, how I have shown you with this waterfall image, or you can blur a background, or you can apply a filter, and nobody will know that the original was not like this background at the end. So I hope I could give you some new inspiration, and perhaps you learned something new. Thanks for watching and see you. Bye.